All right, so we're going to deal with our vertical asymptotes first. So what causes a divide by zero answer? We need to first factor this out because it's a quadratic. And so you'll have your two factors like you had here with your parentheses.
On both of them?
Yeah, let's do the bottom one first. All right, so you're saying what multiplies to positive 3 but combines to negative 4? What multiplies to 3?
1.5.
Whole numbers.
Oh,
Don't forget about 1.
3 and 1?
If you had positive 3 and positive 1, would that combine to negative 4?
No, so one of them has to be negative.
They actually both have to be negative because a negative times a negative would give you your positive 3.
But don't you feel like if you add two negatives, it becomes a positive?
No, because you're counting, like if you have losers and more losers, you have a whole lot of losers. All right, so when is this factor equal to 0? When x is, so something minus 3 equals 0.
It has to be plus 3.
So put x equals 3 right there. Good, now draw your graph with your vertical asymptotes.
So it's 3 and 1?
Now remember, vertical asymptotes means you can never have that x, so it's the vertical line that goes all the way through it.
On both?
So this one happens to have two vertical asymptotes because there are two x's that cause a divide by zero answer. All right, next, let's factor out the numerator. What multiplies to 6? Positive 6, but adds up to negative 5.
2 and 3. They're both positive.
But you have a negative 5 here.
So it's negative?
Yep. All right, so that means x is going to equal, what makes this factor equal to 0? So then at x equals 2 and 3, you're hitting your x-axis. And so you're going to plot the point
Just 2 and 3?
on the x-axis, yes. Now, we already said that we can never touch 3. So we're going to have a hole right here.
Like a hole?
Yep.
Circle?
Yep. Because what's happening here is that if we didn't have this denominator that was causing this divide by zero error right here at 3, normally we would have hit at 3. We'd like to hit at 3, but this divide by 0 caused us a problem. And so we're putting a hole right there.
Okay.
Now in your graphing calculator, enter this, your numerator and denominator in. Actually, let's look at the directions to the question real quick. Identify the holes of the graph. So we have one hole here, and we're seeing, do we have any other holes? That would be a place where you cross this asymptote. Do we cross this other asymptote?
No.
So that we only have one hole then. So go ahead and draw this graph real quick.
How come there's only one?
See what's happening here is that we're crossing over. There's at 1, 2, 3. We cross over it. So you're actually going across the asymptote, like
That?
yes. And this hole, we had to put the hole in the graph because we're not allowed to touch x equals 3. So the question was identify the hole.
3.
Yes, so you'd have it 3 comma 0, you have a hole.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.